Doesn't that say it all? God is so amazing, shining through us. So how much of the time when you were growing up, or even today in your life, do you say that to yourself? God is so amazing. Shine every day? That's why you're doing so great. She says it every day. I know when I was growing up, I didn't hear those messages every day. I didn't hear them in school. I didn't hear them on the news. I didn't hear them from your mother or father, perhaps. I heard it from my mom all the time. But, those are the kind of messages that we need to keep telling ourselves. We need to tell ourselves the truth because we told ourselves the lies for so long about who we are. And we need to keep telling ourselves the truth until, like Alan says, it becomes our life. It becomes every part of what we're manifesting in the world. It's easy to say and perhaps understand intellectually and much more difficult to do. So you stop at the point of, oh, I understand that. Oh, yes, I'm because God created me. Oh, yeah, God is so amazing. Yes. Yeah, and then you go off and complain about the next thing that happens. Of course, somebody said. Of course. But no, of course, I am here to teach you something new. So, John, would you come here for a second and help me out? And maybe one more other person. Jan, come over here. No, we got Jan. Just enjoy. Just enjoy. Just be a spectator today. Can you pass these out and give Jan half of let's see. Yeah. Take these. Oh my gosh. We might not have enough for everybody. Some are small. I cleaned out the dollar store. Okay, so I'm going to pass some of these out to you guys. Wait, that's her color. Here you go. Pass these out to you, these guys here. If you don't have enough, just share with the person next to you. All right, we'll get back to that in a minute. Because the whole thing today is, who do you say that you are? It doesn't matter who anybody else says you are. It doesn't matter those messages. Who do you say that you are? When you look into the mirror in the morning, who do you say that you are? So there's not enough to go around. That's a good sign. That means we had a lot of people here. Great. Excellent. So, well, don't worry about the mirror for right now. What I want to say to you guys, there you go. Okay, now put the mirrors down for a second. Kids, breathe. Come back to center. Kids, I'm going to have to call the principal. I didn't read the Daily Word before I wrote this message today and thought about bringing mirrors with me. But isn't it amazing? I am free to be my true self. All of us with unveiled faces, seeing the glory of the Lord as though reflected in a mirror. Are what? Are being transformed. I'm going to read that again. All of us with what? Unveiled faces. In the Bible it says, I will see it. In that moment, in the moment of your awakening, you will see God face to face. You will no longer be looking through a glass darkly, looking at a false reflection, but you will see it face to face. So let me read this again. All of us with unveiled faces, seeing the glory of the Lord as though reflected in a mirror, being transformed. Isn't that amazing? So the truth is in there. If we just look for it, if we just don't interpret against it, we can remind ourselves of that pure, unfettered, authentic truth. So I always love this scripture. It's in Matthew. And I want to talk about the story, of Jesus because he was just such a cool guy. He did so many really amazing things and was said to have done so many amazing things. Whether you believe it or not, just the possibility of it really blows my mind. So he's already been going around healing people. He fed the 5,000. He's walked on water, which I know is true for a fact because I was meditating one day at the ocean, and I let my eyes open up just enough to where the waves stilled themselves with my mind. And as my mind got more stilled, so did the water. And pretty soon, it shifted so it looked like a flat surface. It was solid like concrete. And I knew at that moment that if I wanted to, I could get up and walk on it. And when I got up, the waves started flowing again. And I was like, what happened to my mind? I was so still in that moment. I was more still than ever before. And just that little doubt, just that little thought crept in. So we really need to focus on our own minds because that's where it all is. You know, the Course in Miracles says that our outward picture of what we see is just a reflection of the inward picture of what we're seeing. The world we see out there is only a reflection of the world inside. So during the story, you know, after he's fed the 5,000 and walked on water and done all these things, he sits down, you know, with the guys around him. And he says, who are the people saying that I am? They said, well, some people think you're Elijah or you're Dolores. They're saying all kinds of things about you. They're saying, you know, that you're somebody reincarnated, John the Baptist, or some other prophet. And he turns and he says, but who do you say that I am? And Peter says, you're the Christ. You're the Son of the living God. And he said something really important at that moment. Jesus says back to him, flesh and blood did not reveal this to you. Your human thinking did not reveal that to you. Your method of analyzation or deduction, or your method of viewing things, your perception, your limited perception, did not reveal that to you. But my Father in heaven, your higher mind, in other words, revealed that to you. So I don't have to read that. You get the point. Your higher mind reveals it to you. So if you can take a moment to look at yourself through those eyes, starting in the morning, each and every day, look at yourself through your higher mind, not who you think you are, but who Spirit knows you to be and calls you to be each and every moment, then you'll be on the right track to awakening and to knowing who you are. Because the messages we tell ourselves on a deep internal level, they determine every aspect of our experience of life and the world around us, and ultimately how we treat others. It's the internal messages. So what words do you use to describe yourself on a daily basis? Where do those ideas come from? Most importantly, how can we tell ourselves a different story? I think one of the most important things to remember is that we connect to the truth so easily by just deciding to do so. That it's free for everyone. You don't have to be a special person. You just have to want to do it. You just have to want to take this moment and connect and say, this is what I want. This is where I'm going to be. Everything good comes from that. Everything. That's prayer, right? That's our fourth principle, is that affirming the truth keeps us connected with all that is, with Spirit, with God. And that's where all the good comes from, all the healing, the prosperity, everything you want. It's not coming from striving for it. It's not coming from trying to get it. It's coming from acknowledging it's already here. It's already yours. And then allowing it to be. I know we had the scripture up there for a while, and then we went, yeah, there you go. I got it here. So I'm going to go to the next one because I already did that. Oh, I turned it off. There it is. You guys have been looking at this for a while. This is from Imelda Shanklin. It's a book that was written in 1929. And she says exactly the same thing that was said in A Course in Miracles, which really blows my mind because that didn't start to come in until 1965. And some of the sentences are exactly the same. You are the Son of God. You are the son, the daughter of God. But you have not always acted your part. You are a soul that has forgotten its divine identity, a soul that is now struggling to remember in the midst of time and the confusion of your human experiences. You are the living Son of the living God. Spiritually, you are an idea in the mind of God. And that idea must be given expression in you. That idea must be given expression in you. You're the only evidence that a divine source exists. I'm going to tell you that again. You are the evidence of God here. And you have to stand up and be that. And don't allow yourself to entertain any other limited ideas about who you are. You are the son or daughter of God, but you have not always acted the part. Isn't that nice? I can just change my mind. I can change my mind about who and what I want to be. Because in our true mental identity, says Imelda, you are the mind of God. You are the mind of God. You are the sons and daughters of God, but you haven't always acted your part. The truth is that you are the mind of God, and this must be permitted to act in you. This mind must be allowed to act in you. You're just blocking your own good. You're blocking that action of God mind in you by telling yourself a different story. So the reason you're acting a part that is not your God self is because you've written a play. And you've cast yourself as a character in that play. And that character is not the Christ. It's not the light of the world. And that's why we need to keep reminding ourselves that our true identity is the mind of God. This mind must be permitted to act in us. It knows all things. It makes no mistakes. In you it recognizes itself as beauty and wisdom. In you it sustains its perfection. You become aware of its work in you when you do not crowd it aside with the arrogance of the personal mind. You know, my wife Lily wrote a book, and it's called Finding Healing at the End of Arrogance. And it's stories about how each and every individual in that book came to a place where they found their personal self was the thing blocking their experience of God. The arrogance of the personal self is the only thing blocking your awareness and your expression of your God self. So this is a great quote, and I had to look hard to find, because I always say this, but I never knew who said it first. I love this guy, Teilhard de Chardin. He says, we're not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And that kind of flips the script. That kind of shifts it so you can be a different character in a different play. And I love this guy. I follow him on YouTube and Facebook. As human beings, we are called to be channels for the divine. That's our function here. But as spiritual beings, we are the divine. And that's the most important shift that we are taking now as a species. We really need to remember that our function here is to channel the divine. But beyond that is the experience that we are divine. We are already divine. This guy, Reverend Anonymous, also says, finally, you are spirit and light and pure energy, but you're wrapped in thoughts. Your own thoughts. You're a thought in the mind of God, but you've wrapped it up in thoughts. You are pure light and spirit and energy. But if you're wrapped in thoughts, if this manifestation or expression of the divine as you is wrapped in thoughts, have divine thoughts. What's wrong with that? Let's have divine ideas born of your divine mind. It's not as hard as you think. I'm going to go back to that. I thought I had a blank there. Okay, so this is the time where we're going to practice, okay? I want you to take out the little mirror that you were passed out. I want you to do something very interesting here. Kyle doesn't have to work hard at this. Imagine when you were 11 years old. 11 years old. And just to yourself, in your own mind, what kind of messages did you receive? What did you tell yourself at 11? Just do it. This is, yeah, no, do it. Do it in your own mind. Look in the mirror. What messages were given you? Just think about it. Just think about it. This is just for you, not for me. I don't want you to express this part out loud. Just think about it, not out loud. And I want you to think about your life. And I want you to think about the conflicts and problems and things that you may have encountered. How many of those things were a response to those messages? Think about relationships that didn't work out. Think about times where you felt destitute, alone, afraid, different, sick, sad, separate, just desperate for love. You got that person in your mind and you're looking at them? I want you to tell them something. You ready? You are the son or daughter. You are the child of the living God. You can say that part out loud. Say it in the mirror. I want you to teach yourself. Yeah, tell that guy in the mirror. Tell that woman in the mirror. You are the Christ. Tell that woman in the mirror. Don't look at me. Tell that woman in the mirror, that guy in the mirror. Tell yourself who you are. You are the child of the living God. You are peace. You are power. You are perfect. You are beautiful. You are worthy. You are loved. Tell yourself the truth. Some people can't do it. Oh, I don't want to do it. Yes, you are beautiful. You are. Tell yourself. Yeah, I know you are. You don't have to tell me. I know you're in love. I want you to tell yourself. Are you ready? Keep going. Tell yourself the truth. You know, when I do this in the morning, sometimes it's really hard to tell myself the truth because I'm seeing a false reflection of who I am. But the power is within you to do it. You are the Christ. Don't worry, we're not in a Catholic church. You can tell yourself, you are the Christ. You are the Christ. Just tell yourself, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. Don't worry, the evangelicals are not going to come storming in here and arrest you. They're not going to arrest you. You can do it. You can do it. See, we're so guilty to tell ourselves the truth. But it's our only salvation, is to tell ourselves the truth. No being from the sky is going to drop down and tell yourself the truth. If Jesus showed up here today, they wouldn't let him on a plane. I'm serious. They throw him in a detention center at the border. I'm not kidding. Come on, guys. This is about you. You are the Christ. Come on. You're going to show up. You're the second coming of Christ right here, right now. And we have to tell ourselves. One more time. With all of your power, all of your might, Jess, I want you to do this. Look in the mirror. Because you said this on Thursday night. You are the light of the world. Tell yourself. You are the light of the world. You are the light of the world. All right, I want you guys to go forth and shine. Now let's say it together. I am the light of the world. Woo! Do you feel that? Do you feel it? I feel it. I am the light of the world. I am the light of the world. So this is an evolution of consciousness. Eric Butterworth says in his book, Discover the Power Within You, that the aim of the spiritual evolutionary process to you is to produce a man or woman, a person, who is completely manifesting the inner life of spirit. And Jesus' teachings deal with techniques that you can use to fulfill this process in and through you. And that's all he came to do, was give you techniques to discover the power within you. We need to get this idea into our consciousness that humans, man and women, made in the image and likeness of God, is not a mere figure of speech. It is a practical fact. It is a dynamic truth. Charles Fillmore said it best when he said, "What Jesus did, we can all do. And it is fair to say that his is the normal standard for every individual, and that every other expression of life is abnormal. The result of insufficient Christ elements." This is the co-founder of Unity, who wrote this. It's not bad, it's just the result of insufficient Christ elements. Don't you love that? That is a really nice way to look at it. So you're not bad, and you're not good either. You're just in an evolutionary process, a spiritual evolutionary process. And are you employing sufficient Christ elements to shine your light as the light of the world? Because you just discovered you are the light of the world, and you're just determined to tell yourself that for the next 21 days, right? Oh, I didn't mention that part. 21 days, every morning, I don't care who you are, who you think you are, get up, look in the mirror, tell yourself you are the light of the world, and then go about your day. That's all it is, one little sentence, guys. You are the light of the world. 7 words. You can do it. You can do it. We need not look for another in whom to witness the Christ, as did John the Baptist, but we must look for Christ in ourselves. Precisely, yes, in the man that Jesus found the Christ in himself. As Jesus found the Christ in himself, we must too. Christ is in you, the true light which lighteth every man and every woman coming into the world. In other words, this point of light is the heart of man, which Paul called the Christ. And also Lao Tzu and Confucius and Zoroaster and in Buddha and in Plato and in Emerson, and in a very real sense, you and me. End of story. You are the light of the world. Go shine, my friends. Be blessed and be a blessing to everyone you meet. I love you so much. Oh, I forgot that slide, didn't I? Oh, I forgot. This is the direction. Okay. I'm sorry. You can cut the film. Because we're going to do this. After we tell ourselves we're the light of the world, we're going to remember this. This is from A Course in Miracles, chapter 8, the Holy Encounter. Whenever you meet anyone, remember it is a holy encounter. It doesn't matter who it is. As you see him, you will see yourself. As you treat him, you will treat yourself. As you think of him, you will think of yourself. Never forget, in him or her, you will either find yourself or lose yourself. Everyone you meet, it is a holy encounter. And if you see the Christ in them, you will see it in yourself. I guarantee it. That's the simple solution and the simple formula that I'm going to offer you this week. Go out, be the light of the world, and see the Christ in everyone. Remember, it's always a holy encounter.
You have been watching the message from our Sunday celebration service here at Unity on Cape Cod, providing a positive path for spiritual living. Please join us every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. at 147 Walton Ave, Hyannis, Mass. And visit us online at www.unityoncapecod.org.